Alright, you boys ready? Another day, another dollar.
Another dollar,
Let's
gang.
go.
Let's
Alright. 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody back to the Built Different podcast. This is our 18th episode of our NFL edition to the podcast. Not allowed to say the other words right now at the moment. But I'm here with, as usual, I'm here with Trill Bill. Trill Bill. And I'm here with Don Boy. And of course me, Thomas Saxby. We got a great episode lined up for you today. You know, we're going to be discussing Nick Chubb's, Patty Mahomes, week 2, week 3, top 5 teams in the NFL, injuries, Bills block, and we got a lot more. I'm pumped. How about you guys?
Yeah, pumped.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm juiced up, bro.
You sure you're pumped?
No sausage party. I'm juiced up.
You sure you're pumped?
I'm OD pumped. Let's do it.
I'm glad you're still pumped, man. I know Monday sucked.
Yeah, it was tough.
Tough time to be pumped.
It was tough. Yeah, it's just like, I'm a fan of a cursed organization, cursed franchise, cursed city, cursed colors, but it's okay.
Cursed
On
colors.
week three.
Orange and
On week
brown,
three.
yeah, that's a
On week three.
crazy combo.
On
How
week
you,
three.
that, yeah.
how you doing, Bill? What you drinking today?
We're doing good. Got a Ghost Sour Pink Lemonade. Little offbeat today, but
He's about to
it's no
headbutt a brick
C4,
wall.
but you don't always need the C4. You can't drink that every week.
Yeah, C4 sounded treacherous. This sounds like...
This is at like a 7 out of 10 instead of.
All right, fair enough.
7 out of 10 will normally get the job done.
All right.
You know, my opening take, Deion Sanders, has nothing to do with the NFL yet.
Soon.
But he has to be considered one of the best sports figures of all time at this point.
Yeah.
I think, being one of the all-time best cornerbacks in the NFL. In the baseball, he hit 300. He hit 500 in the World Series. I saw it today when I was doing the research for that. I was like, damn. Like, he went off for the Braves. But, first man to be in both the World Series and the Super Bowl. Very good motivationally, which I think led him to be a really good, solid coach. Yeah. And the things he's doing with Colorado. I mean, yeah. I know they barely escaped week 3 and they were projected to win by like 20 something, whatever. But 3-0 to start to his, university career.
Yeah, I mean, that's a rival game. That line gets a little skewed based on how much they stomped in the first 2 weeks when they weren't supposed to. So you can't fault them for where Vegas set the line for a rivalry game. Right. They come out with a win. 2 overtimes. It really took a lot of heart. Yeah. I don't watch a lot of college football, but a lot of other people that don't watch a lot of college football tune in for that as well.
So yeah, same. I haven't watched college football in a couple of years.
Yeah, he's making it very, very interesting, and he has turned Colorado into an absolute liability for all sports books across the country right now.
Oh, yeah.
They win the championship or Shedeur wins the Heisman, things are going to change a little bit the way sports books operate.
Well, I don't think Shedeur wins the Heisman. I think the second best quarterback in the world is actually Caleb Williams. He's better than Burrow. He's better than Josh Allen. He's better than Tua. He's better than Lamar.
Wow.
He's the second best quarterback in the world.
Currently. Not what he can become, but like currently.
Currently.
Plug and play.
And I think he'll be the second. He'll be the second player to ever win Heisman back-to-back seasons, which is very interesting to me. It's very interesting how that's never happened before. But yeah, I think what Coach Sanders is doing is going to get more recruits. He's going to be better next year, and it's just great to see a black man do what he's doing.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And I don't like the people that choose to hate on it for no reason. Because in my opinion,
there's
it's a
literally
beautiful
no
story.
reason to. There's literally
it's a
no
beautiful
reason
story.
To. Yeah.
I've hated on dumber shit. Like,
right.
Like there are people that are just successful that I'm just like, no. You're not allowed to do that.
I'm glad you admit it. I'm glad you admit to it, man. But moving to our headlines, so Nick Chubb, man.
Yeah,
so Nick Chubb, he very brutal, savage injury, gets destroyed by Fitzpatrick, who in my opinion, I know, I get it, it's a football tackle, whatever, but I don't feel like that was really necessary and needed because he was already headed to the ground. But, what do you guys got for that?
Yeah, man.
Out for the year. And he needs 2 surgeries, by the way.
It's the same knee that happened in 2015 in Georgia. I'll say this. 2 things. One, if there's anyone that could come back as Nick Chubb.
He's done it before.
He's a dog.
Yep.
Two, it was very, very tough emotionally because he's our team.
Literally.
He's our team. He's our offense. And whenever he gets down, he always comes fucking up. He always comes back up. And it was just very tough to see him come back up. And I know how much work he put in this season to do. And he was killing.
He was looking great.
He was killing. He was about to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And, and he didn't. So it was tough watching the game because, like, the whole time I was at juniors, actually, in Albany with my boy. He just, I just wasn't saying anything. I just, like, dang, like, that's my dog. And, like, he's gone. And, like, you know, post game, dudes are crying, bro. Like, that's how much he meant. He was a man of not that many words, bro. But, like, he was consistent. He didn't miss a practice.
Yeah.
He was like he's just a dog, bro. So it was tough. The Minkah Fitzpatrick hit, man. Minkah's a dog, bro. I don't want to. No disrespect to the Steelers. It was bang bang play. It's football. And next man up. So that's all I can say about that.
Fair enough.
I will say the hit was unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Football play, yes, but like you gotta. I don't know. He hit at the exact level that you can't hit. Like it's not right to go in at that speed, that strength, not pull up, not do something. It's the defender's responsibility not to target the head and not to target the knee. There are two things that are absolutely devastating to NFL careers right now. And they need to take the accountability to not hit those areas.
Yeah.
You go a little lower, hit the shins, hit the ankles even, like that's still weird. A little higher, hit the thighs, hit the center of gravity, chance to hit the ball. Why aren't you hitting there? You got a chance to force a fumble. If you just raise that shoulder pad a little bit, you got to do something a little different there. And Minkah's too good of a player to not be able to adjust for that.
I feel you.
So I don't like it.
I get it. I totally get it, man. Hey, there's nothing you can do about it now.
Yeah.
And we paid someone $230 million fully guaranteed. So there's no excuses.
And honestly, Jerome Ford looked like a stud.
Yeah, he looked good. He good.
Came in ready, and you know that's a tough spot. Like you got to be ready. Like as a backup, you always got to be ready.
Yeah.
But when you have your guy who's probably mentoring you, Nick Chubb is a pro's pro. I'm
when
sure
when your guy is literally Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Like call him a big bro. Yeah.
There's nobody closer to him than Jerome Ford is on that team right now, I would imagine. So you see him go down, and you just have to recover like that. That's hard. That's very hard. So the fact that he not only did that, but did it at a very high level, I'm impressed by Jerome Ford. I think it only goes up from there. Yeah. Kareem Hunt officially signs with the Browns. I like the reunion. I think it's good, but I think it's Jerome Ford's backfield, 100%.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
Kareem Hunt's nice insurance though, at the very least.
Brings back a character and like energy to the offense.
Yeah,
because if you could just tell, like that defense plays with so much fucking heart and energy and excitement and together.
You need to keep
and that offense is kind of like
Nick Chubb.
It's Nick Chubb. It's Nick Chubb, but it's like dull. It's like there's no there's no alpha. So there's no like happy energy. Not energy, but like I'm trying to like someone who could like make you smile on the offense. Like it's very they're all like business and it's cool.
Yeah.
But it's like we need that energy, that team camaraderie. So
it won't be Deshaun Watson making anybody smile.
Yeah, it won't happen.
But I mean, with the injury, it was pretty sad because I was really looking forward to seeing what the Browns could do this year. It seems like they had the best. It seems like they have the best defense that they've had, during this stretch, and it's always been good defense. But I feel like now they got phenomenal defense. Depending on Deshaun Watson alone is going to be a little tough. And I'm not saying they're going to depend on him alone because, like you said, Ford seemed decent, but Ford ain't no Nick Chubb. That's the only thing I'll say about that. So, like when it comes to Deshaun Watson, I don't know, man. It might be tough because, like, watching this guy, he's had the whole last half of the season. He's had the entire offseason. He had nothing but time to work on his game when he was suspended from the NFL. I don't want to say it's strange that it seems like all of his talent seems to be gone, but it's not looking too good. I mean, of course, he can get his feet under him as the season goes along, get back to where he was, but I don't know. For the life of me, I cannot see it happening. But I did see the Browns making the playoffs with Nick Chubb healthy.
Yeah, I would say that in Houston, that run game wasn't the best, and Deshaun was able to, right? So I'll say this too: the pick six. I don't really blame that on Deshaun. Those fumbles I blame on Deshaun, and he's missed some throws. Not good protection. Not the best of play calls. It's a team effort. It's not. He's not playing. He didn't play good, but it's not all on him. Everyone's got to be better. So that's all.
Fair.
That's all I'll say about that.
Fair.
Yeah. Early into the season, I mean, the playoff picture is still wide the hell open.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time to adjust.
Literally,
it's almost, if it's gonna happen, it's almost better to have it happen sooner.
Yeah.
So you can create that identity, and like you said, I think Kareem Hunt can really help establish that. He's another guy that runs like he's angry at the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
So they still have a top five offensive line,
Yeah.
in my opinion, as well. So I think that run game.
They played awful yesterday, Monday, but yeah.
Yeah, they did. But they still have it long term, I feel.
Right.
So I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, it's week 2.
Yep.
It's week 2, and the Bengals probably will be 0-3 in my opinion if Joe Burrow doesn't play, and if he does play, I think they could potentially still lose. Yeah, if we win this week, play Baltimore week 4, go from there. So that's my mindset.
Yeah,
That's my mindset.
Yeah.
For me, it sucks. We were going to talk about it later, but I'll just open it up now. The Aaron Rodgers going out week 1 and now Nick Chubb, it's like two things I was really looking forward to seeing this year.
It's cursed, bro. I'm telling you, both of these franchises are
Jets
cursed,
and the
bro.
Browns, man. Nothing.
They can't have good things, bro.
Even when you feel like you got one of the best things around, it's
Yeah.
just not. It just didn't pan out that way, and now we're left with Zach Wilson and Kareem Hunt to pick up the pieces.
We'll see. Hey, but I'd rather have Kareem Hunt Jerome Ford than Zach Wilson. So that's just me.
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
And also
Especially
Nathaniel Hackett. I'm glad Nathaniel Hackett is out.
Yeah, I saw this article. It was crazy. The title. I didn't even read the article because the title was so nuts. I sat there and laughed for 3 straight minutes. It said, "The last hope for the Jets is for Nathaniel Hackett to unlock Zach Wilson," and I was just that was not a headline I thought I would see.
Yeah. I don't associate hope with that thing.
Yeah,
right.
I don't.
That's 2 negatives. Does not make a positive. But so Patrick Mahomes, he gets a record payday. They reconstructed his contract so that he can resume being the highest paid player in the NFL, which he deserves it. He's the MVP, Super Bowl, reigning champion, 2 Super Bowls in his young career already. A whole bunch of records so far. I think he deserves it. I think, down the line this could hurt because obviously they have glaring needs. They have holes on their defense. They have no wide receiver room.
I think what you're seeing there right now is where the Bengals are going to be before long.
Yeah.
They've still got it right now because they've got young receivers and young prime talent. And you already saw them lose both of their safeties in the offseason. And look at that defense right now. They're missing 2 safeties really bad. So, I think the Chiefs, the Bengals are models of how you can keep a very good quarterback in one case and a pretty good one in another, in my opinion. But ultimately, it's not the way you build a team for a championship.
Yeah.
Most often, the Chiefs are exempt from most rules, it feels like.
Well, I think there's 2 things. One, there was no one on the stratosphere of Brady. And Brady should have gotten paid a lot more, and he didn't. So I think the same, but so I think Pat could do that. But there's no one in the NFL in 5 years have won 2 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs, and at least have gone to the AFC Championship and won their division every year.
Right.
So he should be making there should be 100, at least a $50 million gap between him and the next man. It shouldn't be close.
That's a good point.
He should be making $300 million.
Because you're seeing fucking Justin Herbert become the highest.
He hasn't won he hasn't won the division in the same division as Pat Mahomes or a playoff game.
Yeah.
Or you know what I'm saying? So it's silly. But I think that defense is actually, I don't know, it's only 2 weeks, but they looked good against the Jaguars.
Oh, yeah,
Jaguars O-line's not that good. The Jags haven't looked that impressive. Doug Peterson hasn't looked that impressive the last 2 weeks, play calling and setting up the run. But I would say that, I think they do need wide receiver help. But, I mean, bro, it's Pat Mahomes, and like I said, he's a Shohei of that sport. and he deserves whatever money he deserves. So he should get. So, but if he wants to win the championship, Brady took the discount.
That's the blueprint.
And you know what I'm saying, and that's just what it is. So
I feel like at some point he's gonna have to, because I mean, they should have been able to re-sign Tyreek Hill, but because Tyreek Hill is as good as he is and as much money as he wanted, you couldn't, because you just didn't have the money at all. It'll suck because they'll probably start losing some key offensive linemen as the years go along. Yeah. The holes in their defense will be a lot brighter because a couple people leave, like Chris Jones plans on leaving at the end of the year, and they struggled to get that 1-year deal out of their ass to him. So I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, I love it. I love that he gets paid. He deserves it. He deserves to be miles above, Justin Herbert and fucking Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. Yeah, not Jalen Hurts, but
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, no, but not compared to those other guys.
Yeah, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
But moving on, so
sure.
Taylor,
he did it for 1 year.
Oh, did you have an opinion on the?
I got an opinion on what you just said.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Hurts.
I'm a Oklahoma Sooners fan. I love Hurts.
Yeah,
I love Hurts, but like,
I would rather have Hurts right now than Burrow, Herbert, and Josh Allen.
I'm not disagreeing.
That was my point.
But like getting paid as much as them,
Jalen Hurts.
As much as them, yes. He shouldn't be any closer to Mahomes.
Yeah. He shouldn't be over them.
There's a tier.
He should be right there with them.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck. But so you got all right, cool.
It's good for that.
We're gonna skip the Tyreek shit. But so Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, speaking of the Chiefs, they're dating officially.
Maybe. I don't think so.
But listen, Travis Kelce had that random knee injury.
The internet says they're
What,
dating.
you think he was doing?
He was blowing Taylor Swift's back out. There's no other way around it.
Nah, no shot.
He's a good looking fella too, you know.
Yo,
He's
got the charisma,
right?
Pause.
He's a catch.
He's a strong man.
Pause.
That's what Taylor Swift needs.
All right. Next.
Let's do that.
So, what is your guys' built different take from week 1? I'll dig right in. I think the Baltimore Ravens, they have a shot at number 1 in the AFC, I believe. I could see them gaining a lot of momentum as the year goes along for a run in the playoffs, too. I'm loving what the Ravens got. I know Odell, he got hurt. Dobbins is already down for the year, but, Lamar Jackson, the more he plays this year, the better he's getting. And I think we still haven't seen the best of Lamar yet, and I have the Ravens as number 1 in the AFC. That's my take.
We'll see.
I mean, yeah, they won by 3 against the Bengals, but that's because Joe Burrow came alive in garbage time.
I just want to see, I don't know. I want to see, I don't know, who have they beaten?
The Bengals.
We beat them too in better fashion.
Yeah, but now you guys. But if you guys had Nick Chubb, you'd be 2-0.
Yeah, we would, but still, they week 1 they played the Texans, week 2 they played the stinky Bengals, week 3
the stinky Bengals.
Next week, who they play next
Colts.
week?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Colts,
so the Ravens have a decently laid back schedule. That goes into my take.
I get it. Okay,
yeah.
Copy. I just don't think I'll see them week 4.
Week 4, okay.
I'm working on Titans right now, but I'll see them week 4.
The Ravens are gonna obliterate the Browns.
Oh, all right.
I honestly don't think so. I think it's gonna be a close one. I do
shot.
have the Ravens winning that, but that's gonna be a game of the week. There are some things that could pan out, or maybe it changes my take on that, but I've got that already penciled in as my game of the week for week 4. I'm looking forward to watching that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm excited. Ravens will be 3-0 going into that game, going into the dog pound. Browns will be 2-1. We'll be tied for the division. That's how I'm looking at it.
So what is your guys' built different takes?
I'll go first, Bill. If that's good with you. My built different take is the NFC South is back. NFC South is back. Falcons are 2-0. Saints are 2-0.
Love to see it.
Buccaneers are 2-0.
Baker Mayfield and the Bucks, baby.
Panthers,
let's talk about it.
Stink. Panthers are awful, but I think they'll get Marvin Harrison Jr. and they'll be good. They'll be good next year.
That's the thing I was gonna say. That
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. I forgot how many picks they gave up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if those picks were Chicago's, some shit like that. But whatever.
Either which way,
they have cap space. They
I don't
can
know,
get somebody.
man. Bryce Young, he gets his feet under him. I still believe.
Yeah, I mean Jay Jettis could go over there. You never know. The They have cap space.
So? Why would he go over there?
He's done with Minnesota. He's done with Kirk. That defense is legit, bro. The Panthers defense is legit defense.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm just saying there's an option. But yeah, that's my take. I think what Baker's doing, he's playing safe. He's trusting his reads.
Dude,
my dog's a dog. My team's the Saints. My ride or die team is the Saints. I'll talk about them later. And the Falcons, they've surprised me. They've surprised me. I still think they stink, but I don't trust Desmond Ridder. You know what I'm saying? But Bijan's a dog.
I'll say the first off, the Buccaneers. I told you guys so. I mean, come on. Baker Mayfield is going to take the Buccaneers all the way to the playoffs. I'm still riding with it.
Hey, I hope, man.
If the offense stays healthy, he still got Evans, he still got Godwin. I love that trio they got going on there. Their defense still makes big stops when they need them to, and overall it's Baker Mayfield. He showed I don't know why people are shocked. He's shown that he can be a number one on a team. So when people were shocked that he's even starting on this Buccaneers team, and then they're shocked that he's even doing good, I mean, this is Baker fucking Mayfield. He almost brought the Browns back.
I know.
Which seems like nobody can do these days, but he almost brought the Browns all the way fucking back. Put together a couple of good seasons, a couple of bad seasons, but he's shown that he can do it, and I got them still winning the division. Because the Saints, I don't know. I mean, they're going to get Kamara back in a couple weeks. We'll see where they are from there. But it seems like Michael Thomas still got a little screw loose. I don't know if you guys saw the post-game shit that he was doing in the tunnel.
Yeah, he was
just picking fights with everybody. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But Derek Carr, I don't know. I'm not liking what I'm seeing out of him so far. It doesn't seem like he's locked in with his guys. But the defense seems pretty.
Yes, no, Saints defense
nice.
is legit, bro.
Yeah,
they've been legit for years. Literally for 5 years, they've been a solid defense.
Yeah.
I respect their defense.
I'm going to tie my take right into yours.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot before the season started about AFC is where it's at. AFC is so much better than the NFC, particularly if you look at just the top, NFC stacks up. The Niners and the Eagles are good. Mm-hmm. But once you get outside of the top two, it kind of stinks. You've got 7 teams in the NFC right now that are 2-0. You've only got 2 teams in the whole AFC that are 2-0.
Yeah. And to bounce off that, the NFC has a 6-0 record so far against AFC teams.
Right, and that's really what's causing that disparity. So it's pretty crazy to see things start that way. NFC South is back, but NFC East is too. Yeah. All of a sudden, not the Giants, but
because if Burrow continues to struggle and or he continues to be injured, whichever one it is, and the Bengals continue the slow start, that's one whole powerhouse you're taking away from the AFC. Because I think a lot of us could agree that the Bengals they're a contender this year and pretty much every year that Joe Burrow since he's gotten on his feet. But the Jaguars they're struggling. It's not looking too good out there in the AFC. It seems like it's the Chiefs and maybe the Bills.
Yeah. We'll see. But there's
Ravens,
a lot of teams,
obviously, but
there's a lot of teams that just haven't gotten off to the start that they wanted to. I'll throw the Bills in there too. But whereas NFC, you've got some teams that are really surprising. Teams even like the Rams, who are 1-1, they look like they're a squad.
Decent.
And
like Matt Stafford hasn't missed a beat.
Yeah.
Like this is about to be like the old school Lions.
I'll tell you, I'm excited for quarterback season 2, watching Matt Stafford with his team. Puka Nacua looks like a stud out of nowhere. I was not expecting that. He was not on my fantasy radar.
Me neither.
Who is your guys' built different performance of the week? I'm going Mike Evans to tie back into Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I was close to picking Micah Parsons here because some of the advanced metrics that went into Micah Parsons last week was pretty insane. But I'm going with Mike Evans, man. He looks like he's going to get another 1,000-yard season. He had, 100 and... How many yards was it? 70? 170?
170 yards, one touchdown.
Yeah, it was a crazy-ass game. I think the biggest thing is that he's making Baker Mayfield confident again. I don't think Baker Mayfield, besides Odell, but Odell and the Browns, that was kind of a shit show. Yeah. I think Mike Evans might be the best receiver that he's had, and it's nice to see that he's connecting with him. It's elevating Baker Mayfield. I mean, a 300-yard game, we're back to that with Baker Mayfield. he just looks good, man. Like it all looks healthy, it all looks good. And if it's on the back of Mike Evans, so be it. You know, Mike Evans finally going to, you know, not be underrated, I think. Yeah. I think it's finally time for Mike Evans to get a lot more talk than the past.
Sure. Yeah. He's one of the best, really one of the best receivers that's ever been in the league. Yeah. And he's one of the last few, like, prototypical receivers, go up and get it, jump ball type guys. Yeah. And he's still doing this. Like, this isn't how the NFL is built anymore, and he's still doing it. It's really impressive the number of quarterbacks that he's done it with now as well. So add Baker to the list of a bunch of guys that are really lesser quality than Baker in a lot of cases.
I feel like the two needed each other.
They did. They did. And, you know, I think that offense has an even higher ceiling with Godwin as well, not really hitting his potential yet this season, but to keep it on Mike Evans, absolute dog.
Absolutely. Oh, Bill, what is your built different performance of the week?
I got DeAndre Swift. About the same yardage as Evans with an extra touchdown, and a guy who really only had one opportunity. They had too many running backs in that room for you to squander an opportunity as the lead guy. He took it, literally ran with it. And now it's going to be really hard to give the ball to anybody else. And so, he looked good. He looked like everything that Deuce Staley said he could be for the Lions. And it really makes you wonder why they didn't feed him the rock a little bit more in Detroit. But, he had a feature back opportunity and he crushed it.
Yeah. And I think that makes the Eagles draft day, because I remember I said that was one of my biggest things of the offseason, was the Eagles draft. It makes their draft day look even better, especially if he can continue that. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying he's going to have 100-plus yards every single fucking game he plays, but this offensive line, which, I thought was built for Penny, is clearly built for Swift. Like, Swift, he found every fucking hole that they opened for him. And I love it. Do your thing.
Yeah, we've talked about Penny, and I still think Penny's good. I don't know if you guys really have much to say about that, but I still think he's going to get his by the end of this year. Yeah. But Swift should be the lead back moving forward. Yeah. Period.
Yeah. I mean, not gonna lie, I think this is what Penny probably needs anyway. He needs to really be eased in so that he can last all year to begin with. Because that dude's gotten injured, I think, every single year since he's been in the NFL. I don't know if maybe the last injury took too much of a toll on the guy. But yeah, he definitely doesn't look good so far. So it's really good to see Swift come through like that, because Gainwell's going to give you what he has. Gainwell is solid. But Swift.
That Lions offensive line has been decent for much of his career there. Yeah. But the Eagles offensive line is just way better than anything he's ran behind before. So of course he's going to have a little bit of a leg up compared to what he was doing prior. But this is only the guy's 5th career 100-yard game. Yeah. That's crazy for the amount of talent that he has, that they're not running him more. And I think he's going to have all the opportunity he wants here. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see DeAndre Swift the rest of the way.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So what is your built different performance of the week?
Bro, Geno Smith / Chase Young / Heisman too.
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith, bro. I just think the fact that back against the wall, got the ball back in overtime, locked in, stayed solid. I just liked what he did over there against the Lions.
Without Metcalf too.
For sure, without Metcalf, and I just think he was able to ride the wave. Don't do no turnovers. Don't throw no picks, no fumbles.
A lot different from the Geno Smith that we grew up on.
Yeah, for sure. I just think Geno looked better week 2 than he did week 1, and the offense did, and I was happy for Geno. And Chase Young hasn't been back since like 2 years, and he got his first sack, and I just think that whole defense was locked in. Looked 50 times better with Chase Young, so I was happy to see that.
Yeah, I'm especially glad now. I'm not happy about the Geno Smith thing. For personal reasons and betting reasons, I'm not happy at all with Geno Smith's performance. But ultimately, I respect Geno Smith. Good for you. Yeah. I'm just not this week. Maybe I'll give you your flowers next week.
Right.
But Chase Young, I'm super happy about.
Yeah,
I'm now really glad that they did not rush him back.
Right.
And that's the thing. The Commanders had the opportunity to bring him back earlier. Maybe. I don't know whose decision it was. But the fact they kept him out as long as they could, then he comes back looking healthy.
He's a dog.
He's going to be a difference maker.
Yeah.
I had him right before he got injured. I had bets in on him being defensive player of the year when he got injured.
I hear you.
I'm not shocked if he makes a run for it this year or next. You know, there's a little bit ahead of him with Micah Parsons' performance this week too, but he's got a hill to climb. But still, he's got a lot of season left to make a name for that.
And that Commanders-Broncos game in general was a thriller.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to the Commanders and Sam Howell. Like, they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
They look good. You know,
Eric
they're him and Ron Rivera, they're cooking, they're doing their thing.
Sam Howell too. I like Sam Howell.
And that's the thing, like people are sitting here like, oh, Sam Howell's gonna be buns.
No, he
was a top prospect at one point. It's just him and Spencer Rattler, like they went down together, but it's like you can't like it's the same. I'm not saying I expect Rattler to come in the NFL and do something, but I wouldn't be shocked if he does. Right. Because he was a great football talent at one point in time. And it's good to see, you know, Sam Howell. I feel like the Commanders was just a perfect fit. Like, I didn't think of how perfect it actually was a fit until now. Nice to see Chase Young back. Yeah. Well, not nice to see. Fuck the Commanders, first of all. I'm an Eagles fan. But, you know, I'm starting to let this, you know, host thing get to me a little too much, taking the Eagles fan out of me. But, yeah, that was a thriller, too. They lost on a crazy ending. You know, Russell Wilson looked good. I'm not going to lie. He had some bad moments in that game, but Russell Wilson
the first half, he looked good. But, bro, that O-line's awful, and they can't run the football consistently. So, it's good. Like, say Russ looked bad, but, like, I thought Russ looked pretty well. I think he missed Jerry Jeudy on that 2-point conversion. But, yeah, like, I thought Russ played pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he did. That
in the first half, he played
that
pretty
Hail
well.
Mary saved his day.
Yeah, I know, for sure.
Right? So, first off, that blew another bet for me. So, I'm bitter. This is a little bit of Bitter Bill speaking right now.
Bitter Bill.
But
that should be that's
a Bitter Bill.
Yeah. Bitter Bill.
Bitter Bill's going to show his face way too often this season. But if you take that out,
Bitter
he passes.
Bill 30 down.
He's 17 of 31 for 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick.
Which is a lot better than what you've been getting out of Russell Wilson.
Better, but it's still got Sean Payton ready to throw him completely under the bus, which is a trend for Sean Payton, and I really am losing more and more respect for Sean Payton, too.
He did tell Russell Wilson to stop kissing babies.
Yeah. And he's talking about, like, maybe we need to go to a wristband. Like, these comments that, you know, well, Pete Carroll also threw shade at Russ for not wanting to use the wristband, but Sean Payton, like, put his foot down and says, if we need to use a wristband, we're going to use a wristband. Yeah. Because apparently Russ isn't getting the plays to the huddle fast enough. Mm-hmm. So this is two things. A, that's bad on Russ because he's a veteran quarterback.
Right.
If you can't get your plays out, that's a problem.
Should be on the back of
If
your
you
hand.
can't do it to the point where your coach is acknowledging it that quickly right after a game, big problem. But also, if you're a coach, you can't be acknowledging that after the game. You can't do that to the press.
Like, hey, my quarterback's not doing his job.
It's not me, guys. It's not me.
And it's not like not like he had some shitty game either. Like, again, you know, you have a point. You know, without that last,
he was barely over 50% completion percentage with 2 touchdowns. That's not doing it for me.
But it's not like he stunk. You know what I mean? It's not like he went out there and stuck it up because then they would have gotten fucking wrecked. But
meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, you've got Sam Howell with essentially 300 yards, 299 yards, a couple touchdowns, 27 to 39. Just better completion percentage, more reliable performance. That's why they win the game. That's why Russ needed a Hail Mary to end it and got it on sheer luck, but then couldn't get the 2-point conversion because they're not an efficient offense. They're not completing passes reliably, so that they can't connect for those last 3 yards to tie the game, put it into overtime with a 2-point conversion. Broncos just aren't that good right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. No pushback on that.
So, you know, to go back to the Lions, you know, I got this Jared Goff jersey now. Feel a little bit like a clown, but, you know, the Detroit Lions absolutely blow up against the Seahawks to end that game. I thought the Lions had it in the bag, and they were just like, we're still the Lions. So here, Seattle, take this win. Because, I mean, I still think the Lions have a beautiful opportunity to be like 6-2 going into their bye week. 5-3 would even be good considering where the division's at right now. But definitely not a game they should have lost. I mean, that play to go for it, I think completely took the train off of the rails. I did not like it. Jared Goff, he's still, the interception was ugly. I thought he still had a good game. Was able to get them in the field goal range to tie it up at the end. And then the Seahawks just ripped them apart in overtime. That wasn't even close. But yeah, the Lions blew it, man. It sucks to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's Dan Campbell's way to go for it on fourth down. He set the record last year for most fourth down attempts, first off, and the most fourth down conversions. Not necessarily the best ratio, but the most conversions, the most attempts. So it's what he does. He plays the numbers on it. I hate it too, but he's got a system. It almost got in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's tough.
I'll say this. 3 things that I didn't like late game officiating. One of them was that Lions game. I think Aiden Hutchinson got held on that last touchdown.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that didn't get called. I know you might not be a fan of it, but I know it was silly, the Hunter Henry to Cole Strange shit for the first down was silly. I just think it was too close to overturn.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was for surely I don't know if he was for surely short on that first down. He might have been.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if he was like without a doubt short. And bro, I don't know. The Browns, bro, I get it, we played bad, but Donovan Peoples-Jones got held so bad on that last throw, and it's like very disturbing for me to like how it's like
It's obvious.
Like Chris Sims said it, like second quarter, 10 minutes, 30 seconds left to go, that's a flag. Literally any point of the time, that's a flag. But
yeah.
late game, like they just didn't throw the flag. So
but they threw the flag against the Eagles in the Super Bowl one of the last
They pick and choose. They just pick and choose when they want to throw flags, and it's just like it's ridiculous, bro. So I don't know, man. That's all I have. Those are my takes on just bad officiating. Just like I know you guys can't see it, but they call like I just can't, bro. And it's just like I just can't.
We got technology. We can make them see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just make sure you send that.
Like that didn't get called, bro. You know what I'm saying? That didn't get called,
just
bro.
To help things out.
Cold,
this is the amount of hold you've got.
Literally, bro. Like those are important plays that need to be called, bro. And like the Lions lost the game. But like that's a big play that didn't get called.
And it's not how they should have lost it.
And the Pats would have not won the game, but that's a weird like situation to handle.
Yeah, so that one in particular, I'm watching very intently, and I'm listening to they call in New York, they've got the head of officiating on the horn, and he's talking about how they can go ahead and say, like, well, this is the time, this is where his arm was, and he comes down first, and then he continues to fall forward, the ball falls onto the line. I'm okay with that call.
Right.
After that explanation, I'm okay with that call.
Right.
Before that, no idea.
Right.
There's no way. But they do have technology to get this shit right.
Yeah.
They just don't use it more often than not.
Like, I wish you could challenge holds, bro. It's just like, I don't know.
And there has to be a line. So that's the thing. These are discretionary calls to an extent. Because if I've got a little bit of this, it's not impeding progress.
Right.
So it's not really a problem. And impeding progress is just a whole different...
Right.
It's tough to measure.
For sure. I get it. And one last thing on the refs I'll say is just on my game alone that the Browns had so many holding penalties, but we have second most pressured. Our defensive line has the second most pressures on QBs in the NFL, and we didn't have a single holding penalty. So that shit just not making no fucking sense to me. I am being a fucking homer. Just stop being cursed. I'm tired of being fucking cursed.
It's nice having a Browns fan on the podcast.
Do your fucking job. There's no ways Myles Garrett's not getting held every fucking possession. There's absolutely no way he's not getting held. Just give me one. That's all I asked for, fucking one. So that's my rant, bro.
Put that call in New York. We'll send a clip over.
Jesus Christ.
I'll make sure we send them that short.
Please.
But you guys have any other takes for week 1. My last one
Week
is
2.
just or week 2. Yeah, I know. I have it in the script as week 1. Any other takes for week 2? My last one really is that last 2 is I think the Jets are quickly turning into a mess quicker than I would have thought. And 2, I think the Giants got luckier than a motherfucker that the Cardinals decided to tank in the second half. Because they had Daniel Jones and the Giants on lock. Daniel Jones wasn't able to do anything, and then he came out of the half and they were fine. I think they had a talk in the locker room. They were like, all right, guys, you guys are doing too much. We're up 21-0 or whatever it was. You guys got to stop. Right. Give the Giants the game. Because there's no way. I'm sorry. There's no way. The Giants got lucky. I'm not buying anything else.
Yeah, I could see that. I think there is an element of like, listen, coach, if you go 6-11, that's too many wins. We're not getting a top pick. That's a problem, and that's a bad enough performance where I can let you go.
Right.
Whereas if you go 1-16, then we can talk. We can talk about sticking around.
And I was just trying to tell you guys, like, they're gonna stink. Like, between Nathaniel Hackett and Zach Wilson, bro. That's like there might not be a worse combination, to be honest. I'm trying to think of like
that might be the worst combination of all time.
Literally in all sports, bro. Yeah. Like I'm trying to think what could be worse, and like it just I don't think maybe Russ. Maybe Russell Westbrook with AD and Bron, but at least they won some fucking games, and at least they liked each other.
George Karl and DeMarcus Cousins.
That's up there.
But Boogie was hooping though.
But George Karl wasn't.
Nah, but I feel like Boogie was hooping though.
Hey, Zach Wilson got a win.
I'm gonna provide the little
not when Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, week 1.
Yeah.
that counts.
I guess it fucking counts.
I'm gonna provide the one little glimmer of hope. It's not on Nathaniel Hackett to unlock Zach Wilson. It's on Aaron Rodgers too. And Aaron Rodgers is in that room. Zach Wilson
he wasn't there yesterday.
Correct. He's in theory in that room. He's not there yet. He's recovering. He just had a speed bridge.
Yeah.
He should be back healthy enough to be on the field next week or something like that.
Maybe
right?
2-3 weeks, maybe.
So he's at least going to be in the facility soon. And he can provide that oversight. He can tell Nathaniel Hackett how to coach this guy, because I feel Zach Wilson learned more in one preseason with Aaron Rodgers than he has from any coaches that the Jets have brought in. So him mimicking some of Aaron Rodgers' throws, it looked like he was actually knowing what he was doing during the preseason.
Right.
Of course, it's against backups. But still, that's more competency than we've seen from him.
Right.
So,
and it was the Cowboys' defense at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They've been ripping everybody apart so far.
Salah's quote, some of it makes sense, some of it's like, come on, man. But he was saying Zach Wilson looked okay for much of the game. Most of his real bad decisions and real bad stats came from garbage time when we're down by way too much and just trying to sling it, trying to make something happen. You can't fault anybody for that.
Right.
That's a guy who doesn't give a shit about stats when he's doing that. And I like that. You can't give a shit about stats.
Right.
You got to try to win the game, even when it's way out of hand. He was trying. I don't hate it. I don't think they're completely lost. I don't think it's completely game over for the Jets, especially with the AFC pretty even right now. Everybody's 1-1, except for Bengals, Chargers.
And one last thing too, just real quick on Dalvin Cook. I think he should have waited. Browns would have signed him. And if Browns would have signed Dalvin, it would have been a little different.
Yeah,
you
know
what
I'm
saying? Then
but
he
also,
takes number 1
and that's another
and that's
thing.
fine. Well, I'm good with that.
And that's another thing is that they only ran Breece Hall like four times, and Dalvin Cook 5-6 times.
Right.
Yeah.
So I get it's the Cowboys defense, but you're putting a lot on Zach Wilson when you got two really good backs that you can at least rush them 10 to 15 times each and see if you can gain some ground.
Dalvin should have waited for sure.
All right, so week 2.
Yes, sir.
What is your guys' game of the week? Dom, I'll let you go first.
Game of the week, Saints-Packers. Big game. It's my fucking game. Saints-Packers, bro. Bakhtiari's probably going to be out.
It's not wrong.
No, I'm just laughing because it's the Saints.
I think it's going to be a very interesting game. I think it's a must-win for the Saints because let's say Atlanta and the Saints are tied. The tiebreaker goes by, okay, who did you lose to? Who did you win? Who did you beat? Who did you lose to? So I think this is a must-win for the Saints. And And I'm excited for that.
I like it. I also think it's a good test for Jordan Love facing the good defense
Yep.
of the Saints coming off.
I mean, the Packers should have won last week, but
crazy how that ended. Falcons
Jordan Love's looking good, man. Jordan Love's looking really good. I'm happy for him, and LaFleur's coaching his butt off. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I just to provide a little bit more insight on that. I mean, the Saints, as much as we talk about how easy their schedule is, Bucks is not that much of a harder.
Yeah.
So if they don't keep the pedal to the metal here, then the Bucks could get a game up.
Yeah.
That's scary. And this Saints team isn't like a comeback team in my opinion.
No.
So I feel like they need this. However, Jordan Love is balling right now.
Yeah.
So
Derek Carr needs some momentum, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, got to see him start slinging that ball, man. He's got the team to do it too.
Yeah, and the Packers also have a very real chance at that division. Lions look vulnerable, right? Amon-Ra St. Brown might be out this week. If he's out this week, they might be in trouble. So it's that division is just as open as the NFC South is right now. I feel, aside from the Bears, you have no chance. Sorry, Bears fans. But I like that game a lot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
My game, I've got Rams-Bengals. I need to see something.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Both of these teams.
Yeah.
First off, there aren't many games that should be that close this week. It's not necessarily the most exciting.
The 4 o'clocks are kind of. I mean, I'll be intrigued for the 4 o'clock just because Chiefs, Nagy. My fault. Chiefs versus Bears.
Yeah.
Nagy's coaching against the Bears. We'll see how that goes.
We've only got 3 games in that window.
Right.
Panthers Seahawks is the only one that should be kind of close.
They stink. Panthers they won't win again.
Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites against the Bears.
Yep.
I need to see something there too.
I think Chicago
covers.
Beats the spread. No, beats the spread.
Okay.
They beat the spread.
Yeah.
I like. You don't think so?
They might back. Dude. It's easy to back.
They are bad.
This could be the game that just unlocks Mahomes.
You see what Justin Fields said today? Oh, it was right when I came in here. He was like,
stupid.
He was like, I need to play like I know like play football like loose. Like maybe it's the coaching. There's too many like info in my head that I'm not playing like instinctively and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Yeah,
but instinctively he wants to run the ball every play. He doesn't even want to throw.
Maybe
it.
I don't know. I think Justin Fields. I don't know. We'll see. I'm
big Justin Fields fan.
That's my guy, dog. JF1. That's my guy. So we'll see.
So my
he stinks. He stunk the first 2 weeks.
Let's say he stinks.
He stunk the first 2 weeks. But let's see what we can do.
My game of the week, I'm going Bills Commanders. I think like after the week that the Bills just had, and the week that the Commanders just had. I think we could be in for a shootout of a game, and I'm completely right. Like, it's as a football fan, there's really no implications towards it. Well, besides, I mean, I think the Bills do need to pick this one up to stay, within the range of the Dolphins for the division. But also, the Commanders, they win this one. Now we're talking about the 3-0 Commanders.
Right.
And most likely the 3-0 Cowboys and most likely the 3-0 Eagles. And, wow, that's pretty crazy to think about on its own. But yeah, I like that.
I like that a lot.
Also, very likely the 0-3 Giants.
Right.
1 and 3.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Right.
1 and 2.
Yeah. All right, my bad.
Yeah, don't forget they won.
They beat the Cardinals, bro. Don't you forget it.
No, I forget that counts.
You forget that guy. No, but real quick on that, I love them 6.5 because love the Bears. Commanders 6.5. First game in Washington, homecoming game. Ownership's out. That preseason game when they beat the Ravens.
That's a good fucking point.
Bro, when they
Dan
beat the
Snyder's
Ravens
out of there. Now they're all healthy and they're all nice.
Bro, when they beat the Ravens and beat that record, bro, it was like a playoff game, bro. I think the fans are ready, excited for that team to be playing at home. I think the Bills was the game. I'm gonna do money line Commanders.
And it seems like Howell and McLaurin, they're starting to really figure it out. And I think that right there, if he can really hone in with McLaurin, that's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
McLaurin's a little banged up, but I like John Dotson too, and he hasn't woken all the way up yet.
Yeah.
So they really had it going.
That last touchdown Terry and Sammy had was OD. Have Terry in my leagues.
I'm shocked that you guys didn't pick this game. I got a honorable mention for it. Chargers and the Vikings. Yeah, that is going to be... I think that's going to be the most sweatiest Week 3 game of all time.
Just two stinkiest teams. It's like I'm watching a fart.
It's
Just fucking terrible. Just fucking awful play calling. Fucking terrible coaching.
But at the same time, they're both 0-2. I think there's a lot of...
The game will go 0-2.
I think this is the highest pressure game that there's been this season.
For sure.
And it's like, it has to be one of the biggest,
for sure.
of all time.
It's a huge game.
There's a lot riding on this, yes, but man, I can't put either of those teams in my game of the week right now.
Nah, it's gonna be a great game.
But it's like both of those teams cannot fall to 0-3, and now they're facing each other at 0-2. Someone is going to be devastated after this. There's going to be one fan base here that has no hope in their team.
I'll say this: if they lose, Jake Juddas might be actually done with them.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I think he's already done with them. But if they lose, I think he actually might be done with them.
And I really feel like the Chargers are going to win this game.
They stink.
I mean, I don't know. I don't
know. I think this is a team that
finds ways to lose games.
Correct. Both of them.
Well, I think the Chargers...
Are they going to tie?
I think the Chargers do it professionally, though. I think they go into, let's see how we can lose this game.
Creatively.
Creatively. Listen, they're professional losers, bro. Staley doesn't know how to win. He's a loser, bro.
Let me bring this back.
You're a loser, respectfully, to your family, but you're a loser, bro.
Let me bring this back to an age-old conversation, then. What's up with Justin Herbert? Where do you rank him compared to the other quarterbacks of his class?
Below.
You know what I want to ask primarily.
Yeah, I know.
Something that has been very clear cut to everybody else in the world. You taking Herbert or you taking Tua?
This is what I'll say. Does he deserve the money? No. But I think I'm the most. I'm not really lenient on losing quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think I'm the most lenient ever with any athlete with Herbert, bro. Because, I just think he's an elite quarterback, bro. And I just think that, his coach just finds ways to not put that team in success. It's not a Herbert thing. The Chargers are not 0-2 because of Herbert at all. You put Herbert... All right, I don't want to say this, but you put Herbert on the Dolphins, I think they're doing the same shit. So it's really pick and choose.
Yeah.
Me, I like righty quarterbacks. I'm going to pick Herbert. I think Herbert's a little more mobile. I think Herbert's a little bigger. But Tua's a dog, bro. Tua's playing, I guess, better now because he's 2-0. But, I think Herbert's playing better than 2-0. I think Herbert's playing better than Lamar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that's how I would look at it, bro.
All right. That's fair.
He doesn't deserve the money, though. Herbert does not deserve that money. But he's not. It's not because of his talent. It's just because he hasn't won shit.
Fair enough.
You can't take a team that's already built like a porta potty and spend all that money on just the quarterback when you need so much else.
Well, they have
a coach.
No, but they have two. They have two edge rushers. They have a good defensive tackle.
Yeah.
They have a good middle linebacker. They have great corners. They have one of the best safeties in the league, and they stink, bro. Stink.
And like I said, I mean, when going back to the Vikings, Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Minnesota, I think everything rides on this game for them as well, because now you're talking about 0-3. I don't think the division, it's early. It could be salvaged, but it's going to be a lot, because you know how the pressure, when it gets to Kirk Cousins, it gets to Kirk Cousins. And this is very early in the season for Kirk Cousins to have a lot of pressure on him. Yeah, I could see him breaking. Justin Jefferson, he seems pissed that Kirk Cousins is his quarterback right now, and he's still breaking all these. Imagine if he was with somebody else. Can you imagine if he was with Patrick Mahomes? How insane that would be.
Kirk, I think,
but they have no go for him. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure Kirk's the leading passer in the league right now.
And I think it's all primarily on the back of Justin Jefferson.
I don't even think it's a Kirk. I don't even think it's
150 yards a game.
I don't think it's a Kirk Cousins thing that they're 0-2 either. I just think
it's play calling.
Their defense, play calling, their O-line. They can't run the football. I traded Alexander Madison for Jerome Ford 5 minutes before we came in here.
Would absolutely
Madison just stinks.
Yeah.
He stinks. Oh, they can't run the football.
Absolutely. So our Thursday game tomorrow, we got the Giants and the 49ers. I don't really see it as being close. I mean, I got the 49ers all the way. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. They're still one of the best teams in the NFL after week 2. Just doing everything right. Defense, offense, special teams, everything is just clicking for them early, too. They never really get off to these fast starts. They're notorious for starting off slow and then just dominating as the year goes along. But it looks like they're trying to go from point A to point B and smash through everybody. And unfortunately for the Giants, it's their turn next. They needed that win in Arizona. That's what I'll say. To keep their season alive, they needed that win in Arizona. but I think they're going to fall way short. I think Daniel Jones is going to get demolished. They're not going to have Saquon either, which is really, really tough for them. I can't see them pulling it out. And if they do, I will be on this podcast next week to blow a kiss to Daniel Jones, I guess.
Hey. Yeah. It's first game back at Levi Stadium. Game won't be close. Simple as that.
You said will be close?
Won't be close.
Won't be close. Okay.
I think it's going to be closer than you think. I think the Giants unlocked something in that halftime. I think they were a team that was playing like they had zero belief in themselves. And now all of a sudden...
I get that. Offensively.
31 points and a half. They're feeling better. And the defense held Cardinals to 8 points in the second half. They don't realize how bad the Cardinals are. Because this is a team that was up 20-0 to them on halftime. Right. So they don't realize that the Cardinals are one of the worst teams built in the NFL right now. They're looking at this as going up against 53 professional football players. Fair. That's the correct way to look at it, no matter how you're preparing for a game. So everybody on the outside, knowing how bad the Cardinals really are, they know this Giants team isn't shit yet. But a team that believes in themselves is dangerous. So I actually have them at least covering the halftime spread, but then the 49ers will get right. They will finish this game strong. They will cover the spread by the end of the game. But that's my bet of the week is Giants covering first half spread, losing full game spread. Little parlay.
Yeah. I like that.
So Sunday night, we get the Steelers and the Raiders. Not a game that I'm really looking forward to. But I think it'll be cool, Jimmy G in primetime. You can never go wrong with that. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with that. But I don't know. I mean, I got the Raiders winning this game. I'm not big on the Steelers, man. I'm just not.
Bro. They're awful, bro.
Who do you have for that game?
Yeah, I mean...
I got the Raiders by a touchdown.
Because I have the Raiders just because they won't beat themselves, even though our defense is 50 times better than the Raiders. First game in the Vegas black hole. I'm telling you, the first games back home are important, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Really important.
Jimmy G feeds off that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what else is important? Josh McDaniels is their coach.
Yeah.
This is a team that's bound to suck eventually.
Yeah.
And I think it might start now.
Okay.
I've got the Steelers.
Okay. I feel you. I respect it.
And that's really the entirety of my take.
Canada is just that bad. Bro, they had 9 first downs. 9 to our 20.
Yeah.
That's bad, bro. That's not good, bro.
I think Jimmy G is going to come out on the attack. I think he's going to be slinging it to Devontae. I think, Josh Jacobs isn't going to have that rushing game again this year, I don't think, because that was really, really bad. So I don't. Yeah, I got the.
Also, who's guarding Devontae at? No, yeah.
So Devontae Adams, I got to make sure he's healthy because concussion. Yeah. You don't know exactly how quickly somebody bounces back from those anymore.
Right.
Same with Jacoby Myers. If they're both out, Steelers
to
me are.
Steelers will probably dominate them. Yeah.
If one of them are out, I'm still very, very confident my Steelers pick. Yeah, both of them are in. I think it's close. I think it becomes toss-up, and it's one that I'm not really feeling like
Vegas,
betting anymore.
I mean, I'm not touching the game.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, yeah, no, me neither.
They're one of my picks.
My betting anxiety ends early this week.
Yeah, I'm not touching that game.
But moving on to Monday. So listen, there's a Monday night curse going on. DeMar Hamlin, Aaron Rodgers, Nick Chubb.
Yep.
Last 3 Monday
nights. That's it. I hope that's it for the sake of the NFL, for the sake of the Philadelphia Eagles who are facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think it's going to be a very fun game to watch.
Yeah.
The Eagles have sucked against the pass. The Buccaneers have been passing the hell out of the ball.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the Eagles are going to pull out another close one because I can't see them losing to the Buccaneers.
Where's the game?
It's in Tampa, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
going to be... I think this is going to be a big challenge for the Eagles, but I think they're going to be up to par. They're getting warmer and warmer. Devontae Smith seems to be the guy that Jalen Hurts is loving early on this season.
Yeah.
I think he's going to maybe force the ball a little bit to A.J. Brown, get him out of his little diva ways.
Need it.
I got Philly here, but I love Tampa, man. I would still take the over on Baker Mayfield's yards.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I think you're going to hear the cannons firing. I don't think this is going to be a low-scoring affair. And the Eagles haven't looked as crisp as they can on offense yet. Obviously, DeAndre Swift looked great, but I don't know if they're going to be able to run quite as well against Tampa. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to need to see a little bit more from Hurts. I think you're going to have to rely on him a bit more. And, he's certainly capable. Yeah. But we got to see it happen.
For sure. Yeah. I think we're only bound for a huge Jalen Hurts game soon.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's going to happen.
And it can happen this week for sure.
Yeah, it could be like a 300-yard passing game, 80 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. It could easily be that. Or he could struggle again. You just never know. But to the last game, what was it? It was the Bengals and who?
Bengals and Rams.
Yep. Oh, so for the last game on Monday, we got the Bengals and the Rams, which you already covered, right? So
yeah, covered to an extent.
All right, I don't have to cover that again. Okay, all right, cool. So quick hit. Who is your guys' player to watch out for? I'm going with Patty Mahomes. I think he absolutely rips apart the Bears' defense. I think he's going to have... Honestly, I would put in a lotto bet for him to get 400 yards. I think he's going to... With the nobodies he has around him, plus Travis Kelce, I think he's going to unlock something this week. I think it's going to be treacherous for the Bears. I could still see Fields having a good game and then keeping it close for most of the game. But I really like Patrick Mahomes here. I mean, he's going to be a part of my best bet later, and I love it. Love Patrick Mahomes in this game.
Yeah.
I like Jefferson. I like Justin Jefferson this week up against the Chargers.
Yeah.
I mean, that defense got shredded by Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
This has got to be his week to find the end zone a couple times because I don't think they win without it. Yeah. And, Kirk has done fine getting it to Osborne in the end zone, getting it to Addison a couple times in the end zone. But Jefferson needs to find pay dirt. And I think he's going to break a couple long ones here. So that's probably what it's going to take for them to win this game. So he's my guy to watch for fantasy, for betting, for all kinds of other purposes too. But for the sake of Viking season, he's my player to watch.
I got Gibbsy. No David Montgomery. I think it's Gibbsy season now.
Hoping, man.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see him be the bell cow and lock in. So that's my guy.
Absolutely. So moving on, we have the top 5 teams in the league now that we're gonna move off of week 3. So who wants to start?
Oh, we're doing pressures at all or no?
Huh?
Pressure.
Oh, I mean, if you want.
Yeah.
All right. So what?
I just have a pressure.
Do you guys have any final takes on week 3?
Yeah. Deshaun Watson's on an immense pressure. He's under immense pressure. I need him to be great. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I just want to make sure that he fucking knows and he needs to fucking lock in.
Slide into Deshaun's DMs.
And
I'm going to create a massage account just so I know he reads it.
I believe in you, bro, but your passer rating's 100 against the Titans. You're playing against your old division. You play pretty well against them. Fucking lock in. Get yourself in some type of rhythm. We need you.
The Browns still got a chance.
If he plays well against the Titans, I have confidence. If he doesn't play well against the Titans, we still win. I'm like, yo, bro, like, I don't know. But if he plays well against the Titans and we win, then
if he plays bad and you guys lose?
Oh yeah, I'll be sad. I was sad yesterday.
Fair enough. Any last takes on week 3?
I'll run with it from here.
All right, awesome. Who do you guys have as the most devastating injury? Because we've had some injuries this year so far, some very devastating ones between Aaron Rodgers' Achilles, Nick Chubb's knee, which it sucks because we got that news today that he's going to need 2 surgeries and they're both going to be several weeks apart from each other. So his career is up in the air. I know he'll come back. He's a dog, but who do you guys have as your most devastating injury ever?
Man, that's tough. I have a couple. 1 football, 2 basketball.
We're gonna stick to football.
We can stick to football?
Yeah, we're gonna stick to football.
Oh, okay. Then I think it's no question Ryan Shazier.
Okay, that's
I mean, he could barely walk for 2 years.
And he was a dog.
He was a dog.
And
Ryan Shazier, I think that was devastating for sure. If we're sticking with just football, that is for me. Yeah. Oh, also unless one of you guys have RG3, but
No, I don't have it.
That was devastating.
RG3 was devastating.
Yeah, man, because he gave us that one good year, and then they overused him, and that started the shit show of Dan Snyder's Redskins.
And he came back too early from that. Like that was avoidable. Is kind of the worst part about the RG3 one is if they just let him rest the way he needed to, that wouldn't happen.
Apparently, he's talking to the Jets, unless he's blowing smoke up everyone's ass.
Oh, he made a nice sales pitch to the Jets.
Yeah. You saw that
on public television.
Yeah.
So I like it. It can't be worse than Wilson. So, Wilson's somewhat mobile. I don't know what RG3's still fast. Yeah. I'm just worried he might be brittle now too. You haven't gotten football hit in a long time now. Yeah. So I can see it though. I'd like it. I'd sign up for that.
It's something the Jets I feel would do.
Yeah. I feel like Phillip Rivers is more their style.
Please don't come back, Phillip Rivers. Just take care of your fucking 15 kids and just fuck off.
Fuck off is crazy.
Yeah, he's got a lot of college to pay for.
Yeah, man. I guess he could use another couple million. Yeah. He might not
unless everybody's getting
that couple million would secure all of their fucking scholarships, pretty much. But what do you got?
I've got Alex Smith. It was bad to watch when it happened on the field, but what happened after is even crazier. With little turf pellets and everything else getting inside the compound fracture. It's crazy to think about this man not only almost lost his leg, but almost lost his life. Yeah. And if you've seen his leg since, that thing is like a dog toy. And it's awful that he had to go through all that.
I guess his surgery was life-threatening too?
Several of the surgeries were life-threatening. I believe he had, it was in the double digits at least. He had 12 to 14 surgeries or something like that.
God damn.
All off of one freak broken leg. So, it's tough to contend with Ryan Shazier, who also came pretty close to losing his life.
Yeah.
But both of these things really took turns for the worst.
For sure.
Well, I'm just going to go with, your guys' injuries were pretty devastating, but I'm going with Bo Jackson. Just because what he could have been, how big he actually was when he was playing the game, playing baseball, playing football, doing both.
Sticking to football.
Yeah, I know, but doing both really well. He was an icon in the industry, so it sucked to see him go down to that simple tackle, and that basically ended his football career after that. And then an honorable mention, I got Todd Gurley's arthritis, just because I felt like we really had...
Yeah, he was dog.
It sucks because it was either going to be one or two things. He was either going to change the landscape for running backs forever because he got that contract, but because he got that contract and because he got hurt, he changed it for the worst. Yes. And I thought it sucked because he was putting he almost won MVP for Christ's sake. So, yeah, I got Bo Jackson, but with a nice little... honorable mention to Todd Gurley's arthritis. Bill's block. Hit him with it, Bill.
All right, folks. So, got the FanDuel lineup ready to rock. We've got Lamar Jackson starting at quarterback against the Indianapolis Colts.
2 weeks in a row?
2 weeks in a row. Ultimately, what I saw last week with no J.K. Dobbins is Lamar rushing a lot more. It didn't really pay off. He had a fine week, but 12 carries last week. Indianapolis being a lot more vulnerable to the run. I do like him this week. He's got a hand injury. Don't worry about it. It's on the left hand. He flexed it in front of the media. He's totally fine. He's going to show up on the injury report. You can ignore that entirely. For running backs, went low for running backs. It's tempting to play Jerome Ford. It's very tempting. He looked great, and he has a very low salary. This is where you can be different from everybody else that is playing Jerome Ford. I don't like him against the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans have a great run defense. They have a terrible pass defense. I do like the wide receivers. We'll get to that. But avoid Jerome Ford. I'm sticking in Raheem Mostert and Josh Kelly. Raheem Mostert against the Broncos. Broncos gave up a ton to Brian Robinson last week. They look very vulnerable on the ground. Josh Kelly saw no run against the Titans. Again, Titans have a great run defense. He's going to have a lot more space to run against the Minnesota Vikings. On the flip side of that, locking in Justin Jefferson as the guy you need to spend up for. He's had 150 yards. That's his floor this year. That's his worst game so far is 150 yards. So lock him in. I think he needs multiple touchdowns to save the Vikings season. They're a come-from-behind team. They're down 0-2 right now. I think they're still going to make a run for this division. So This is the time to step on it for Justin Jefferson. And then I've got Amari Cooper as my number 2 receiver. Amari Cooper against that Titans secondary should be able to eat.
Cool.
Finishing up at wide receiver, I've got Tank Dell. Tank Dell with 10 targets last week. He looked really good, and he's C.J. Stroud's guy coming from college. Follows him to Houston, starting to look the part. So I don't know if he's going to find pay dirt this week, but against Jacksonville, a lot of that underneath stuff should be good for Tank Dell.
I like the over.
If he likes over, I like him even more. So Zach Ertz, a tight end. Would you believe me if I told you Zach Ertz leads the league in tight end targets right now?
I believe in you.
Yeah, it's somehow true.
Yeah, he was.
It feels like he's all they got.
Yeah,
and Marquise Brown, Rondell Moore. I mean, they've got pieces, but
they've got pieces, but they don't have really the quarterback. So the thing is, Josh Dobbs has found Zach Ertz. He's up there amongst leaders for receptions as well. It's not like he's completely missing him here. Just haven't found pay dirt yet, and Dallas is going to be pressuring Dobbs. Who are you going to dump it off to? Side your safety net, Zach Ertz at the tight end position. So I got Ken Walker.
Zach Ertz is still in the league doing shit, man.
I love that. It is pretty
Happy
great
for him.
At the flex, I've got Ken Walker. Ken Walker on a bounce back week last week up against Carolina's, lack of defense. I like Ken Walker this week. I like the Seahawks to really trounce this week, and I think it's going to be on the back of Ken Walker. Then I've got the Chiefs defense up against Justin Fields and the Bears. I think the Chiefs defense really missed Chris Jones. And with Chris Jones back, all of a sudden they look more than competent. Bears have not looked competent yet. So I think they should be able to come up with a couple turnovers, definitely plenty of sacks. Justin Fields loves to run into sacks. So I like the Chiefs to put up a lot of points. That wraps up Bill's block.
You got 2 claps. Bill. No.
Let's see if we're...
Let me stop before we get another copyright claim.
Bitter Bill or...
Bitter Bill, Batista Bill. You agree with all that?
Yeah, I'm with that.
All right, I'm with that too. All right, so boom. 5 winners, 5 touchdown scores.
Let's
so
do it.
Dom is 5-5. Where he leads is 4 touchdowns altogether in the year. Where Bill leads is he is 6-4 with 2 touchdowns, and I'm 4-6 with 2 touchdowns. So I need a big week. So fuck you guys. I'm going first. So I got the Lions to beat the Falcons. I think the Lions, they're going to be hungry for a win here. They need a win, in my opinion. I think going 1-2 would be pretty bad for the Lions, considering they have a real chance to do something. Going with the Lions, and I know I've rooted. Literally 2 of my losses this season come from the fucking Falcons. So I'm third time's a charm. But I got the Vikings to beat the Chargers. I really think with the pressure on the Chargers, pressure on the Vikings, I think Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson will rise above Justin Herbert. I got the Bills over the Commanders. As much as I love the Commanders being in Washington, I think the Bills, I think they're back. I think it's safe to say, I know it was just the Raiders, but I think the Bills are back. I think they're comfortable again. I think they're gonna get by the Commanders. Honestly, I know I said before that the Steelers would lose to the Raiders. My apologies. I have the Steelers beating the Raiders, and that is because of what you said, because I completely forgot that Devontae Adams has a concussion. So with that being said, if he is out of the game, I definitely like the Steelers. I think the Steelers locked in pretty decently where I like them against the Raiders especially. 1 second. So, Kirby Puckett, whatever, you can say what you want about his game. What I love is that he connected with George Pickens finally. I think that alone can beat the Raiders, especially if they don't have Devontae Adams to combat that. I'm going with the Steelers. And you know what? Why the fuck did I pick that? Hold on. Let me pick a different game real quick. I picked the Bengals over the Rams. One moment. Just give me a moment here. That game.
This is a tough week because the rules are minus 200 or better. So
there's not
you're either taking some serious dogs.
You can still do the Bengals of Joe Burrow.
Right. I got the Saints over the Packers. You guys have been benefiting with these Saints wins. I think it's my turn. I don't think the Packers are going to make any noise realistically this season, but I think Jordan Love's going to put up a whole bunch of good games. However, the Saints, they seem like they're going to win some games. Like you said, I don't think they're going to be first, though. I don't want to get you that jersey.
I got
But I got the Saints over the Packers. So those are my 5 teams. I don't know why I fucking put the Bengals. I was tweaking a couple nights ago. So.
Yeah, he's high.
Oh yeah, high as fuck.
All right. You want to go, Bill, or I go?
You can go first.
All right. I got the Saints against the Packers. Even though I think I think I've seen more from the Packers offense than the Saints, so I think the Packers can win that game. But I have the Saints winning. I got the Rams. I got the Rams Monday. I have the balls to fucking. I don't care if Joey B's there. I think the Rams go. Matt Stafford goes in there locked in. I got the Browns. I got my Brownies against the Titans, man.
Yo, this could be the downfall of Dom. I'm loving it.
Must win game. I got the Lions too against the Falcons. Even though I think Artie Smith couldn't outcoach Motor City Dan Campbell. And then I have the Raiders. I have the fucking Raiders, man.
That's cool. That's cute.
I think Vegas is locked in. So, hey, that's a big game. That's a fucking big game for the pod. Let's go, Jimmy G. Don't fucking disappoint me. What I seen from the Browns-Steelers game is just like, bro, the offense is just so bad. I can't even, put it into words. So that's how I look at it.
So we picked the 5 same games, first off. But we're only alike on 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
So this could be a swing in either direction.
It's going to be a good week.
So I have the Lions as well.
Okay.
All 3 of us are on board with the Lions.
Let's go.
We're all about to take
We're
the
about
L.
to lose.
We're all taking the L together.
Go ahead and bet the Falcons.
Let's
there,
go.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So I have the Browns as well. I'm with you on the Browns.
Oh, my God. That's what I care about.
All right, that's the important one.
like
So I really do like the Browns a lot this week. Titans coming off an emotional victory. I don't see it happening again. And Chargers just aren't that good on defense, and they're not going to be able to put up that many points on the Browns. Browns will be able to pass it on them. So
Browns have allowed 1 touchdown 2 games.
Yeah. So I really like the Browns there a lot. So that's really the one I'm most confident in, I'd say. I do have the Steelers over the Raiders. I think Josh McDaniels is awful, and I don't think Jimmy G is much better. So I really don't think the Raiders are going to do a whole lot this year.
Did you bet the Raiders against the Bills?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I like
you just
Josh.
think Josh McDaniels just sucks?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
That's how you feel.
So I like Josh Jacobs to do a little bit more
Yeah.
against the Bills. I think I did take Josh Jacobs somewhere.
Okay.
But that was atrocious too. I will not be taking him until he
He had
proves to me
negative
that he
yards
can
for
do
3
something.
quarters of the game.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And he's talking about being rusty. Man, that's your own fault. I
Literally.
don't know what else to
literally.
say. You, these players do have contracts. I understand that the running back position is not getting paid that much more, but if you're fighting over $1 million and you're not doing your job while you're gone, I'm having a harder time feeling bad for the running backs that are holding out. So that's a conversation for another day. Meanwhile, in Moneyline land, I do have the Packers. So Packers over the Saints. I think Jordan Love has shown enough.
I like the money.
Yeah, and I think they can take this one. So the Saints haven't shown that they got it together yet. No Jamal Williams in all likelihood. They're going to be hurting until Kamara gets back, which isn't very far away. But this is the chance for the Saints to lose one. I think they grow from it. But this is also one of the hardest games the Saints have left on the schedule. So it's not saying it's not saying much, but it is one of the hardest ones they got left. I've got the Bengals over the Rams. I do think the Rams, they've shown me something here. But we had this team picked bottom of the barrel not that long ago. And they're 1-1 here. And I don't know. I think the Bengals need to get right. I think this is an opportunity for them to do that. I think they match up pretty well. Defensively, it's whether or not they can contain Puka Nacua, which I didn't think I'd be talking about that right now either. But if they can contain Puka, it's very obvious now that that's going to be the blueprint to slowing down the Rams. And that wasn't as obvious in either of the first 2 weeks. Nobody was really paying attention to the kid. I don't think anybody in actual defensive rooms were paying attention to him either. So, just to recap, I've got Lions, I've got Browns, I've got Bengals, Packers, and Steelers.
Sweet. There you go. This is going to be fun. We're all going to... This is going to be drastic.
It's gonna be good.
Hope I come out on top. But with the touchdowns, I'm gonna start off with Tony Pollard against the Cardinals. Saquon ran for 2, ran for 1, got thrown to for another. I think Pollard has he scored yet? Pollard.
Yep.
Has he scored yet this year?
Just once. Yeah.
Yeah, just once. I think a lot of people have expected more touchdowns out of him. I think he gets 1 or 2 here in this game. Like I said earlier, I got Deebo Samuel against the Giants. I think in a Thursday night game, the bright lights are going to be on. They're in San Francisco. I think the Giants' defense, they're good in some areas, not good in other areas. I think Deebo's going to find his way back into the end zone this week again. I got Jamar Chase against the Rams. I think it's about damn time that he, no matter who's throwing to him, I like it even more if Joe Burrow's not playing because I feel like there's going to be some forced throws to him. So I got him getting into the end zone. I got this is another one that I'm a little confused on why I chose, but I'm gonna go with it. I got Hawkinson against the Chargers. I think the Chargers they give up a little too much, through the air, and I like Hawkinson because if Justin Jefferson's gonna continue getting locked down the way that he is in the end zone, he fumbled, that was his fault, but I like Hawkinson, and then I got ETN. I got ETN against the Texans. I think he hasn't scored. He's another one that hasn't scored.
He scored once.
He scored once?
Yes.
Yeah, week 1, right?
Yeah.
All right, so he scored once in week 1, but I like him against the Texans. Texans, they're a little vulnerable to the run.
Yeah.
That's what I got. That's my 5. A little messy, but that's my 5.
I like it.
I got CMC.
Safe bet.
Yeah, that's taking the low-hanging fruit.
I got CMC.
Fuck
it. Yeah. I got Jay Jettis. He's got to get in there this week. I got Gibbsy this week. Lead back over there. I got Tyreek. I think the Dolphins just...
I got to change my strategy.
I think the Dolphins just lock in. And I think Tyreek's back-to-back weeks of scoring. And like you said, Pat Mahomes time. So I think Kelce scores against the Bears.
Okay, Don might have 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, some nice low-hanging fruit there, but, if they score, they score.
Cheap son of a...
I see why he's leading the segment.
I can replace 2 of them right now. I put Jerome Ford in there.
Keep being cheap.
All right, cool.
You'll meet your demise.
Cool.
I want to hear, though, who else you got? Who are your
I like Jerome Ford.
bonus picks?
I like Jerome Ford.
These won't count, but...
And I like Kenneth Walker as well.
Okay.
Those are my 2 bonus picks.
I like those.
Oh, my fault. Also, Justin Jefferson anytime. Justin Fields anytime touchdown. I think he rushes 1.
All right. I like it.
Yeah,
so
I can see it.
My 5, I have Tony Pollard as well. I really like Pollard's matchup. I have Stephon Diggs finding the end zone here.
Okay.
That's a little bit of one-off for me. I don't usually trust a Bills wide receiver specifically, but I do like Diggs. I think they need to wake him up. I think this is where Bills need to find a little bit of their identity. And I think it could be a shootout. So I do like Diggs here. I like Amari Cooper for all the reasons I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Vulnerable in the secondary, so I like Cooper to get 1. I like Raheem Mostert against Denver. I think Raheem Mostert is out to prove why they didn't want or need Dalvin Cook, why they didn't want or need Jonathan Taylor. And, if Jonathan Taylor came in to the Dolphins and we traded 2 firsts for him or something and he had 120 and 2 touchdowns, people would be pretty happy with Jonathan Taylor's performance. I think it's time for Dolphins fans to really appreciate what they have in Raheem Mostert. So I think he's on a mission this year to really prove that. I like Josh Kelly. Again, Josh Kelly coming off down week. He looked good against the Dolphins, in my opinion, in week 1. Looked like trash against Titans, but I think Titans are going to make a lot of better running backs than Josh Kelly look like trash. So up against the Vikings, I do like Josh Kelly to find that zone.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, sweet. So it's getting spicy up here in the studio. So one thing I want to introduce is the best bet. So basically, you guys give your best 3 bets that you got. And the funny thing is that last week we had this segment, but then I crossed it off. But if we were to do that segment, I had Derrick Henry anytime touchdown scorer. I had the Lions, or not the Lions. I had the 49ers -7. And I had Daniel Jones over on passing yards. Okay. Guess who didn't make that bet? Yeah, I didn't. I didn't make the bet, so I didn't win any money on Sunday.
Right.
So, what I'm going for, which I'll bet on, which will probably be wrong, so don't follow my advice, but I'm going Patrick Mahomes over on throwing yards. It's probably going to be a high number. I think he exceeds it regardless. I think this is the week that he's going to go off, start his MVP run. I got the Lions to cover 3.5. I think if they win, they're going to win by a touchdown or more. And I really believe in this ETN touchdown score. So I'm going with those three. If you want to follow my lead, you definitely can. I would have won last week. But these are the three things I absolutely believe in.
I'm going to take 2 money lines, especially considering the best bet segment. I do want to incorporate some of the odds. So Steelers are plus 118 to win. I like them at plus 118, especially.
Yeah.
I like them straight up, but given plus money, I really need to have that incorporated in this little trio. I like the Browns, even though they are minus 168. That's on the flip side, but I feel so confident in it that I do want to lock that in as well. And then I'm going to throw in 1 touchdown score. Again, for the money, I like Diggs. Plus 110 for Diggs to score.
That's cool.
Given the plus money, I'll throw that in. That should get a nice little return.
We like that.
I'm under passing yards for Zach Wilson.
No matter what it is, it's under 15 yards.
I don't even know what. Yeah,
it might be at 15
It might be at
yards.
154. I don't care. I think
Anything under 154 that's the line.
it'll probably be like 180, 190. I love
Yeah.
that. Jay Jettas, I have 100 yards for Jay Jettas.
Oh,
For sure.
And then 60 yards for Amari Cooper. So
Okay.
I didn't look at the odds that much.
is he out?
Amari Cooper?
A lot of those lines aren't available yet as we
Mark Cooper's
record
not
this. But
He bet him 6. He's talked about Amari Cooper 6 times. Now you're bringing up he's out now.
nah, he's good.
Okay.
If he played last week, so that's something I want to just air my grievance toward. All this reporting had Amari Cooper out, so
Sure.
I had to panic with my lineup.
Yeah, Amari Cooper's not practicing, so that's
He's
up
fine.
in there.
He's fine.
He didn't practice last week either, and he played.
He's literally doubtful. He was
Out. They
Yeah.
declared him out for the game, and then Monday rolls around. They're
He's
like,
fine.
we're just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, I just wanted to shit on somebody.
Sounds good.
But yeah, with that being said, that's another episode in the books of Not Gold Rush, of our NFL episode.
Got to bleep that out.
Yeah, I know. So you guys got any closing takes to send us home?
Fucking Browns, fucking win, bro. I don't give a care about nothing else, bro. Dead ass. I dead ass do not care about nothing else. Fucking Browns, fucking win. I do care about Baker. Hope he hoops. Saints, don't fucking prove me wrong. The Raiders. Let's go.
That's a guy that's hyped for this
Also
week.
like James Cook. I also like James Cook anytime touchdowns. The Bills, stop overthinking it. Stop giving the ball to Damian Harris. Stop giving the ball to Latavius Murray. No one gives a fuck about them. Give the ball to James Cook. He had like 25 fantasy points and like no touchdowns. Like he's a dog. Just fucking give him the rushing touchdowns he deserves. Simple.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to follow right there. But a couple things. I'm really looking forward to a few of these matchups. I think week 3 is where we're getting close to really learning who these teams are.
Yeah.
I really think 4 weeks into the season is when everyone has their identity. We're going to be able to really reliably know what's going on here. Particularly with my Dolphins. We got Broncos this week. This is one that we can't blow. We can't overlook this because then we're at Buffalo the week following. And I love the NFL schedule makers for giving us at New England and at Buffalo very early in the season before the weather turns. Before the leaves are even brown, green, orange, whatever. I like... Yeah.
Fins up.
Fins up. Yes. Fins up.
Hey, yo. Bill is just shaking his titties.
Car dealership Bill.
Too, man. Fins up.
Fins up, man.
Oh yeah, man. We're loving it here. Week 3 we're going into. Like I said, we're gonna be here weekly. We want to be your dumbasses.
Yes.
So make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, sell your soul. Shout out Ghana. Shout out Belgium.
Opportunity to rename our segment.
Yes.
Could be you.
Wagwan.
Yes. Just to give the info, we got copyrighted already for the name that cannot be mentioned. You guys figure that out.
Smacked with the band hammer.
But we need a new name. I was gonna leave it to Dom, but I think Dom might name it like something Browns related or.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, like we
need to change that too, probably.
This is no,
that's cool.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
It was I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
Have a good day. Have a good night. Whatever you're doing. Hopefully you're not jerking off while watching this. Get on the train or get the train ran on you. Peace out.
Yeah, let's cut before that part.